Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Christina joining me. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, guys.
Guys, Christina is absolutely amazing. We have a great video with a success story about how somebody actually got their ex back, and also as well, we're mainly going to talk about everyone as you pushed out and answer the age-old question: whose intention's going to win when we're both intending for the same person? So if you're ever wondering about that, or you've had questions about people creating in your reality, we're going to actually get to the bottom of that and give you those answers. Just before we dive into it, guys, Christina's having a sale. Her coaching is nearly 50% off. Not going to last long, so definitely check out the link in the description below. She is filling up fast. She's absolutely an amazing coach, very inspirational, motivational, as you guys can tell from the videos. And guys, if you'd like to hear about any sales or any promotions we're having, or when any coaches like Katie are starting up her group meditations again, definitely sign up for a mailing list down below. And guys, I have a course out, Create the Relationship You Love, is to recreate anybody. It's a really, really great course. That's exactly what I do, to recreate people. And yeah, we're maybe going to have a live event. Definitely fill out our survey in the description below, because we'd like to hear from you. Do you want to see us live? Where do you want to see us live? So the more people that fill that out, the better. So yeah, whose intention's going to win? Let's dive into this. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too to tell the story. So this client of mine, she has an SP, and her SP at that time was seeing another girl. And when the client of mine came to me, she knew already from me, from our sessions before, about everyone is you pushed out. But when she found out about the other girl, she felt like really insecure. She came like to me like, oh, what is if she's manifesting him and she's better than me in manifesting, and it's like maybe we're gonna butt heads, whose intentions are going to win. That was her main question to me. And I told her, like, the concept of everyone is you pushed out. So you have to get really in detail with that. And this means that you are creating this girl also too. Also that she entered your reality, that she's dating the person or the guy you're interested in. And you decide how the story is going to go. So even if this girl is into LOA or not, you will create her thoughts and manifest her in the best way out of your life, or you will decide, if you think your thoughts are not manifesting or she's winning in the situation, you will manifest that her is going to win out with her thoughts. But it's not that she has a mind of her own and her own like bubble you create, if she stays in your bubble and in your SP's bubble, or if she manifests out of it. And she was like really surprised, not believing this, but guys, this is really the truth. You decide how your story will go. It's never a situation where things are too heavy to turn around, or to change your person's thoughts about the other person, or even the like perceived third party in this topic to manifest out of your life and your SP's life.
Exactly. I think that's like the big basis here, is everyone is you pushed out, and, wholeheartedly taking that. So it's my reality. Okay. And I create everything in my reality. Everything's a figment of my imagination. So for instance, when I met Andrew, I wrote down a list of everything that I wanted in a partner, and I wrote lawyer, and I wrote good personality, and all these other things. And the funny thing was, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and I said, you know what? There's this lawyer chasing me around at these networking events. Like, he totally wants to get with me. And then it was so funny, because once I got to know Andrew, he said to me on the first date, he says, you know what, it's really difficult to find a lawyer that's actually funny. And I was like, huh. And other lawyers have told me that as well. So our thoughts go out, and we actually, because everything is like basically waves until we focus on it, we actually create everything that we get with our perception of the situation. Do you know what I mean? So we actually create. So nobody can create in your reality. You're the only one that can create in your reality. And if we start thinking, okay, well, they're intending the same thing, whose intention is going to win? Well, whoever you think is going to win, because you're giving your power away if you're thinking that their intentions can create anything in your reality. So one thing that is actually really incredibly important that people ask me all the time is, you know, how come when somebody says something in my reality, it creates? Okay, well, the reason is because we accept it. So when somebody talks to us, we have to repeat what they're saying in our head to actually listen to them, to comprehend them. So indirectly, we're actually creating what they're saying just by listening to them. And we do need to be on our mental diet, and we do need to clean that stuff up, whether we say it verbally, like, well, that's not my experience, or, you know, in our heads think, okay, that's not my experience. I create this instead. You know what I mean? So, you know, because it's still coming back to us, we're still soaking it in, you know what I mean? And so we're actually creating it, but it can create the illusion that other people are creating, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're the only opera in power. There's nobody else out there. So I invite you guys to do that little list of tiny manifestations that prove that everyone is you pushed out, because that's the key here to basically manifesting anything, as well as, you know, getting rid of a third party, you know?
Yes, that's so true. And I think you have to stay also aware during the day, like when fleeting thoughts come up. I mean, potentially every thought can create. And even in a situation like this, like my client was, I think the mental diet is very, very crucial, and that you stay on top of it. And even in moments when you feel like emotional or doubting or worrying, like you have to catch yourself as quick as possible and to not to spiral out, because this can also create.
It does. Every single thought creates, and it's instant. Mental diet, I agree 100% with Christina, is so incredibly important. You can do any homework you want. You can do intentions however much you want in different, you know, sets of 4 times a day, 10 times a day, 30 times a day. It doesn't matter if you're not doing a mental diet. You can script once, twice a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day. It doesn't matter is if you're not on a good mental diet in between those times that you're visualizing, scripting, and doing whatever else you're doing, because, you know, every single thought has the potential to create. Now, why doesn't it always create? Because sometimes you have other contrary thoughts that block it. And thank goodness if it wasn't a good thought, right? But other times it'll just show up and it's like, here I am. And it's just feedback for us to deal with, right? It's just feedback. So it's so incredibly important, like Christina said, not to spiral out and react, because those thoughts are creating in that moment, right? If you're upset and you're not feeling, you know, valued and cherished, and the other person is going to be feeling the same way because they're you pushed out, they're going to feel what you're thinking, right? Because they're constantly picking it up, and they're actually going to think it's their idea, right?
Yes, and that's so true, to also be aware how you feel, because your thoughts create your feelings. And like Neville says, feeling is the secret. Even if you're not aware, what are you, I'm thinking right now, or yes, what are my current thoughts? Your feelings will always tell you, do I have good thoughts, supporting thoughts, or am I like doubting, worrying again? And I mean, like we said, okay, you create also from this, but you cancel also out if you're spiraling or in like hours worrying or thinking about things like overthinking. You're canceling out your good work, like when you scripted, or when you were like 3 hours in the state inside of your head, like, okay, my wish is already done.
Right. Right. It could switch back, forth, all that easily. And sometimes, you know, if our thoughts are all over the place, things will reflect back all over the place, and things won't even make sense. Like I've had that happen where I've been like thinking great, and I'm like, okay, everything's great. Then all of a sudden Andrew says something out of left field, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, what the heck, right? Because I thought it, right? So as crazy as my thoughts could be, it's going to be reflected back. But that's the beautiful thing about everyone is you pushed out. If you think something, the other person thinks it's their idea. So you never have to to worry about actually being like discovered. You know, like I secretly intend Andrew to do things all the time and he thinks it's his idea. In fact, guys, I don't do laundry, I don't take out the garbage, and I definitely don't do dishes. And Andrew thinks it's his idea. And I even intended that he enjoys it. He won't let me touch a dish or a piece of laundry. So, you know, he thinks it was totally his idea. Shh, don't tell him. Right. So, you know, I mean, you have the power to create everything. So if you've got a third party and you say, no, that person's going to go find somebody else because my specific person's not even going to want them, they want me, that's what's going to happen. And they're both going to think it's their idea. Right.
Yes, that's so true, because we are all one consciousness, all one, yes, we are all connected. And that's also an issue I see sometimes in clients, that they see people like separate from them. And like I said in the beginning, even the thoughts this girl has, you can intend, oh, she finds someone else better, more attractive, more suited for her. And like with everyone, even if you have a boss, it doesn't have to be always a specific person. You can intend that your boss gives you a raise, and that your colleagues like you and you go along well. You can intend even that the cashier is always friendly to you, or a person that you have like contact every day and maybe experienced like different or had like past different past experience. That's what I wanted to say.
You know, yeah, you know, and my thing, right? And I've always said this, right? If you don't want anyone to disrespect you, don't accuse them of disrespecting you. Don't assume they're disrespecting you. If you don't want, you know, anybody to, you know, treat you badly, don't assume that they're treating you badly. I always give people the benefit of the doubt, because I'm creating them to be a better person, and I want to deal with a better person. I don't want to deal with, you know, so like for instance, you know, say Jerry's late picking me up. I'll assume it's not something he does all the time. Something happened. He didn't mean it, rather than assuming he doesn't respect me and he always makes me late. So, and it's like Christina said, it's about catching those little fleeting thoughts and feeling how you're feeling. You know, if you're feeling like you're having a thought that Jerry doesn't respect you and it's starting to make you upset, then you're actually creating that. And you're feeling, you have a thought, it creates a feeling, and boom, it's going to show up in your reality, because we're putting enough energy and focus on it that is actually eliciting a feeling within inside of ourselves. So the feelings don't come before the thoughts create the feelings. So if you're not sure what you're thinking, but you're feeling anxious, well, then it's time to sit there and go, okay, wait a minute. What am I thinking about right now? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling worried? And start creating the opposite intentions, right? And, you know, I can't say enough. If you really want to change your life, okay, if you really, really, really want to change your life, just accept the concept that everyone is you pushed out. And if you don't even want to do that, just always give everything a good assumption, a good meaning. Always give people the benefit of the doubt. Never, you know, it's like those monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Don't see any evil in the world. Don't say any evil in the world. Don't speak any evil assumptions about somebody, and you won't get any of it back, right? So because we're the operant power, we're creating it. We've got to take responsibility and stop being victims about it, and say, look, at, you know what, maybe sometimes you got to have a tough conversation with yourself, or you have to deal with some thoughts that don't make you feel so good. But I promise you, you do the work, you're going to see the results, and your life is going to change for the better, you know.
That's really so true.
Yeah.
Really true.
So awesome. Well, thank you, Christina. You're amazing. We got a bit serious in that conversation, didn't we?
That's really so true.
I don't know.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm recording in Andrew's office today, and I don't know, it's like a lawyer's office. So I'm like, maybe that's got some serious vibes in here or something. No, I'm just creating that. That's, I mean, you know, I create everything. So there's, his room can't influence me in any way, but bunch of law books. It's like, whoa, big shelf. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. And I intend that everybody got something out of this video. And just to recap, nobody can create intentions in your reality. If two people are creating the same thing and one of them is you, you're the one that's going to win. And never create it any other way, because you're just giving your power away. Okay. And thank you guys for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And me and Christina will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.